They told you the goal was to look successful. The car, the watch, the photos, the I made it outfit. But in 2026, that advice can quietly destroy your wealth and your peace. Because right now, the most expensive thing you can wear is the appearance of being rich. Let me ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. If a stranger saw your lifestyle for just 5 seconds, your clothes, your phone, your car, how accurately could they guess what's in your bank account? And here's the scarier question. How many people are already guessing? Because we've entered an era where attention has a price tag. And your rich look is basically a billboard that says, target me. Target me for sales. Target me for scams. Target me for pressure. Target me for fake opportunities dressed up as real ones. So here's the deal. Give me a few minutes. If what I'm about to tell you doesn't change the way you think about money, you can leave. But if it does, you might protect your wealth better than 90% of people who earn more than you. Here's the truth nobody says out loud. In 2026, looking poor is not about being cheap. It's about being untrackable. It's about being unbothered. It's about keeping your money working quietly while everyone else is performing loudly. And here's the twist. The wealthiest people aren't trying to impress you. They're trying to disappear. Because the more rich you look, the more expensive your life becomes, even when you don't buy anything. Your rich look attracts a tax that doesn't show up on any receipt. It shows up as pressure. Pressure to upgrade. Pressure to keep up. Pressure to say yes when you should say no. Pressure to fund other people's fantasies. And pressure is a wealth killer. Now let's talk about what changed. A few years ago, looking rich mostly attracted admiration. In 2026, it attracts 3 things: algorithms, predators, and expectations. First, algorithms. Every platform you use is learning your spending personality, not your budget, your identity, your weakness, your status triggers. When you post luxury, you don't just show your friends, you train the system to sell you more luxury. And those systems are getting brutally good. You'll feel randomly drawn to a better car, a better phone, a better trip. You'll think it's your idea. But it's not. It's consumer psychology, customized to your exact insecurities. And the more you perform wealth, the more expensive your desires become. Second, predators. Scammers in 2026 don't cold call the whole city anymore. They hunt, they study, they collect clues: where you shop, what you drive, what you wear, what you celebrate, who you know. A rich look makes you a higher value target for fake investments, fake business deals, fake emergencies, even fake romance. If you look like money, you will meet people who smell money, and they won't always be obvious villains. Some will be charming, some will seem helpful, some will even feel like networking. But they all have the same goal: redirect your cash flow away from your future and into their present. Third, expectations. This one is the quiet killer. When you look rich, people start spending your money in their head. Friends suggest expensive plans. Family hints at needs. And if you say no, you look selfish. So most people say yes and then call it being generous, when it's really being trapped. Looking rich turns your money into public property. Now here's the part most people miss. Even if you are rich, the performance of being rich is usually funded by your income, not your wealth. And income is fragile. Wealth is resilient. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you keep. In 2026, we're watching high earners break in real time because they built lifestyles that require perfect conditions, perfect health, perfect job, perfect market. But life is never perfect. So the lifestyle collapses, and suddenly the person who looked wealthy discovers they were just leveraged. That's why looking poor can be the smartest insurance policy you'll ever buy. Because it reduces your lifestyle temperature. It cools down your spending. It gives you room to breathe. And room to breathe is exactly where wealth grows. Let me paint you a picture. 2 people make the same money. Person A looks rich, new car payment, designer clothes, constant upgrades, flashy vacations, expensive dinners. Their life is loud. Person B looks average, reliable car, simple wardrobe, fewer posts, quieter weekends, a home that doesn't scream, "I'm winning." Person A gets compliments. Person B gets underestimated. Fast forward 3 years. The economy shifts, a job changes, a surprise expense hits. Person A panics because their monthly obligations are massive. Person B adjusts because their fixed costs are low and their savings rate is high. Person A was always one disruption away from stress. Person B was always one opportunity away from freedom. Looking poor isn't about hiding success. It's about protecting options. Because wealth is options. The option to walk away. The option to say no. The option to wait. The option to invest when others are desperate. Now here's the real reason looking poor matters. In 26, visibility is a liability. We live in an age where people confuse exposure with power. But exposure is not power. Exposure is vulnerability. When you broadcast your lifestyle, you invite comparison. Comparison invites competition. Competition invites consumption. And consumption invites debt. Debt is the most socially accepted way to look rich while becoming poor. So here's the strategy the quietly wealthy use. They buy back anonymity. They choose boring on purpose. They make their life hard to price. No obvious signals. No flashy patterns. No predictable flexes. Because when nobody can tell what you have, nobody can control you through it. And control shows up in weird ways. It shows up when you hesitate to downgrade because people will notice. It shows up when you buy something you don't even love because it matches the image you built. It shows up when you feel forced to maintain a lifestyle you're completely tired of. Looking rich is a contract. You don't sign it on paper. You sign it in public. And every single month you pay the subscription fee. So what does looking poor actually mean in practice? It means your value is inside your balance sheet, not on your body. It means you stop wearing your net worth. It means you build a life that can't be easily manipulated. And no, it doesn't mean you never enjoy anything. It means you enjoy things in ways that don't create an expensive identity. Because identity is the hidden budget. If you identify as the luxury person, your spending will always rise to meet that identity. If you identify as the investor, your spending naturally competes with investing, and investing wins. This is why the quiet millionaire always beats the loud high earner. Not because they're smarter, because they're quieter. Being underestimated is like having a private lane on the highway, while everyone else sits in traffic trying to prove something. And here's the part people don't realize until it's too late. The richest person in the room rarely looks like the richest person in the room. The richest person in the room looks calm because their money isn't trapped in payments. It's trapped in assets. It's working. It's multiplying. While loud money gets applause, quiet money gets results. So if you want real wealth in the next few years, here is the only rule that matters for 2026. Stop trying to look expensive. Start trying to be financially invisible. Let your portfolio speak, not your outfit. Let your savings rate be the flex. Let your calm be the status symbol. Because the goal is not to be admired. The goal is to be free. And freedom doesn't need to be posted. It needs to be protected. So the next time you feel tempted to show you're doing well, ask yourself one honest question. Am I buying this for me or for the story other people will tell about me? If it's for the story, you're paying with your future. In 2026, the smartest rich people will look completely average. And the people trying hardest to look rich will quietly become average, financially. Choose your side. Because you cannot build real wealth while constantly trying to prove you already have it.